Welcome to Awakening 5D Healing. Morag here, bringing an energy update with some meditation, some mantras and some healing vibrations. Welcome. So we're just going to start by raising our vibrations, and we're going to do that by lengthening and deepening our breath. Breathing in and release. Breathing in and release. And again, breathing in, drawing that breath deep down as far into your stomach as you can, and release. So I'm intuitively moving into the heart chakra in terms of our energetic expansion. So just to move us into the space of these energies to help us to align, we're going to take a few breaths and we're going to draw those breaths into our throat and into our chest. And as we draw the breath into our chest, we're going to ask that this breath, this cleaner energy, expands through our heart chakras. Breathing in, throat and into the chest. And release. Release. And again, breathing into our throat and into our chest and drawing that light breath into our heart chakras, allowing it to move around and fill the space with healing light, allowing it to expand into our heart chakras, strengthening and balancing and healing. Release, release, release. And just take your time with that, breathing in nice and gently, allowing the breath to move into the heart chakra, clearing your throat, letting any blockages, any remnants of anxiety to release through the throat chakra, because as we take that breath in, we're activating the throat chakra as we draw it into our heart. So allow the breath to move as it needs to, as it comes into the heart. And release. Beautiful. So we're surfing some serious waves at the moment, beautiful people. I'm gonna take it through with the numbers, because the numbers hold all the keys and are the codes, but they're also a way to help us to understand what's happening, understand how it's happening. So I'm going to start with the 1111 transit into 1112, the final quantum leap of 2019, and turns out to be the one. Who knew? Ahead of schedule, behind schedule in terms of the pause that was put in place in 2015 to allow space for upgrades to take root, but ahead of schedule within that. So it's really down to the work that has been done this year and in the last couple of years. So congratulations, people. All sources confirm, vibrations confirm, frequencies confirm, sources confirm. Shambhala. 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 From crown to root chakra. Breathe into it. That's beautiful, people. Keeping the focus on your breath. We're going to take that breath down into our core now. Into the throat, into the heart, and down into our core, into our solar plexus. Breathing in deep. And release. So, yeah, aligned with the Aries full moon, the Crystal Children's full moon. Of course, it had to be Aries with all the fire and the passion and the youth. The rainbow children are here, they are activated. The light matrix is plugged into the mainframe. The mainstreaming, programming, conditioning of the darker matrix, the 3D matrix, is being rewired. It's happening all around us. Our third eyes are being activated. Truth comes through our third eyes because we begin to communicate with the world and interact with the world as energetic beings, not as detached, separate. We become interactive with the world in the process of surrender to divine alignment, to source, to love, angels, God, Jeshua, archangels, Buddha, whoever, your gran, whoever it is, whatever it is that represents that space outside of us, that's still part of us, that we're part of, that is of source light, of love. That is the quantum leap, that is the jump. And once we make that jump and we begin the process of surrender to alignment, our worlds transform. We transform. It's not a transformation like putting on a new frock or changing your hair or, even changing your body shape. It's not a transformation like that. It's a transformation where we come back to self. We come back to who we were as our authentic self. Pre-conditioning, pre-programming, pre-head fuck, if you don't mind me saying. Pre-ancestral stuff, all of it. We come into self. That's where the empowerment comes from. And that's where the magic, the alchemy occurs. And our ego, our inner child, who has been most programmed, well, he or she just rests, literally in the arms of angels. They connect to that source light, and the inner child, the ego, just calms right down. That overthinking, alignment is allowing ourselves to be guided through our lives, not guided by some external being that's going to have an agenda, guided by our hearts, guided by our third eye. These are the portals to wisdom, divinity, infinity. The energetic field, the ascension field, well, she's just in such a state of total flux. The Shambhala of the fifth dimension that we broke through has taken us out of the third dimension. That weight, that anchor, we cut those cords, people. We let it go. And it's gone from the collective consciousness. It's gone. The weight has gone. What's replaced it is a really surreal, trippy, interactive, multidimensional, smart world. Coincidence is synchronicity. Nothing is random. If we are not aligned, delays, obstacles, problems. If we are aligned, flow, ease, joy. It's just incredible. The leveling up process, the downloads and the upgrades. These will be ongoing, probably into December. So for now, we're going to look at the closure of this final 333 Trinity cosmic gateway. There's a lot of layers to the energetic field at the moment. So we have the 11-11, 11-12 transit, the anchoring and the embedding of higher dimensional realms within the spectrum of our realities. This is a lot of big stuff, people. Don't worry, expand into it, let it settle, meditate, dance, allow the expansion to take place. The assimilation is the assimilation of lower self and higher self, and with each set of upgrades that we process and integrate, and the downloads that we create space for, and the self-care that we prioritize, and the karmic clearing that we embark upon. All of that, yeah. It takes us into spaces of assimilation between lower self and higher self. The grit and the blocks that were preventing our chakras to be fully powered up, aligned, auric field working, full force field up, working order, they're all being lifted, dissolved, So really, it's down to us. We just have to keep ascending, keep raising our vibrations, keep embarking on joy and love and peace and harmony. They are our vibrations. I feel the stress all around. I can sense how much stress so many of you are experiencing. This is coming from the clash between your energetic system expanding and assimilating and upgrading and downloading into this new world, this new earth that we've just birthed, and your physical, organic self being chained, pinned down, held to responsibilities, to a desk, to a kitchen sink, to a computer, to a phone, to a laptop. The key to releasing the stress is to reprioritize what you do with your day. Part of that is learning to say no. And part of that is learning to read your own energetic field and the atmosphere around. To align is to say, okay, I feel energetic today. I feel ready to get stuff done today. I'm going to look at my list. I'm going to look at all the stuff I've got to do. And I'm going to pick out all the things that require energy, physical energy. And I'm going to complete them. And I'm not going to worry about all the other things that require me to sit at my desk or stay in one place or do one thing. I'm going to leave them until I'm aligned to them. We're rearranging the furniture of our lives. We're redecorating our worlds. And we're taking responsibility for our energy, for our sovereignty, and for our self-love. And almost all of that within the matrix system that we operate is about boundaries. It's about boundaries around self-care and making them clear. People know your boundaries. Step into that space of self-worth. Mantra. I am enough. All that I am is true to who I am. All that I do is true to who I am. I like myself. I love myself. I'm going to give myself a big hug. Breathing in, nice and easy, beautiful people. Feeling that self-love moving through your body, into your head, around your crown chakras, allowing that self-love to move through your arms, down into your hands, into your fingers. And we can move the self-love, share it around our body, into our womb space, into our minds, love our minds, inquiring, curious. We can draw that love into our limbs, into our arms and legs. Breathing in and release. Breathing in and release. And as we breathe in, we draw more self-love, more self-care, self-respect, self-worth, deep into our cells, into our bones, into our muscles, drawing it deep into our chakras. The chains of oppression, inequality, intimidation, narcissism, bullying, abuse, trauma, they start to dissolve. The more self-love, the more self-care we give ourselves, the more healing we do, the less those cords of negativity bother us, drain us, affect our daily lives. Ascension really is self-care. There's political awakening and spiritual awakening, but essentially the way to break out of the matrix, to completely unplug like Neo, pull them all out, is to start loving self. And not in that city slicker, suited and booted, arrogant, I deserve the biggest paid job in the building way. That's not what we're talking about here. That's just ego in overdrive. We're talking about true self-love. We're talking about flaws, accepting them, loving them. We're talking about loving our bodies, rejecting everything society tells us about what's wrong with our body, what's wrong with our face, what's wrong with our figure. Literally giving it the finger. And just declaring, I love myself. I love my body. I love who I am. Mantra for today. I love who I am. Dusty. Okay, 11/11/19. We're moving into the new moon. That will be the closure point of this final 333 portal. The kind of intensive crown chakra expansion space that we've been in is starting to earth now as we move into this Taurian new moon. And with that earthing, we're going to really anchor into the changes, the concepts, the visual, Pinterested, dream-weaving changes that we were manifesting throughout 2019. We're going to be anchoring into those dreams now. As we move beyond the 11/11 portal, we will come out of this space of intensive cosmic light waves and have a kind of breathing space where we can start to really embed those transitions, to really become the transformation that we already feel, that we already are. We need time. We need time to integrate that into our lives. We need time to just walk and talk our new selves and figure it all out. Is coming. The vivid dreams, the dimensional slippage, the surreal aspects. Excuse me. Speaking of which, the darker portals have been activated not to the potential timelines that were hoped for, let's say, by our elite, our cabal. But CERN has, without question, activated some really, really heavy stuff. Really heavy stuff. There's just a whole bunch of negative entities coming in through the atmosphere. They do come in through to the empathic people will sense them through the throat. Psychic people will sense them through the throat. They like to touch our sense of identity. So this is selenite. It's kryptonite to ghosts and ghouls. They absolutely hate it. Line your house with it. Line your pockets with it. I don't want to put fear into anyone, because we're in a space of divine. The ascension field is just brimming with light. It's literally shimmering with light. When you duck below it, it is darker. There are shadows, and the lower down the frequencies you go, the lower down the dimensions you go, the darker it gets. And it is dark. It's Archon dark. It's non-physical, energetic entities dark, really. I'm speaking from a very densely populated area, though. The information that I have received is that outside of these more highly populated areas, there's a lot less activity. They do have to be quite focused on what they do. Their technologies are limited. So if you're watching this video and you're very third eye, very psychic, already a healer, already fully activated light worker, the healing is just going to step up. And it's going to be connected to ascended beings, which I'm sure you already know. So yeah, flow with it. Make sure you're cleansing, doing all the stuff that we do, smudging constantly, really, like, you know, several times a day at the moment in densely populated areas is recommended. And just really staying in a sacred space as much as possible. Interaction in crowded areas or in high 3D matrix spaces, synthetic lighting, or just synthetic spaces, take time to clear and cleanse your auric field when you exit those spaces. Similarly, malachite for those of you who are in office spaces with lots of electricity, you know, you want to be warding that stuff off. Don't worry so much about the 5G business. I think we're looking at more issues around non-physical manifestations at the moment than that kind of weapon technology. Yeah, it's being really knocked out. It's being knocked out. It's glitching entirely. They rush through the technology. It's not taking, it's not working. The higher frequencies of the third Trinity portal is just malfunctioning. Yeah, so don't worry too much about it. If you're a traveller, if you're a warrior, if you took on the upgrades, the warrior upgrades at the beginning of this year and have stepped into that warrior space, then you're getting the downloads. And yeah, I will probably do another video specifically looking at that at some point. But for now, we're just looking at the usual stuff: smudging, protection, sacred space, keeping our crystals around us. This is high tech. This is high tech. So, you know, this knocks out anything lower frequency. And the quartzes, we really just can't go wrong with quartzes. The collective consciousness is experiencing a massive heart chakra activation through this final quantum leap. This is the move from ego-led, Nazi, greed-led ideologies, thinking, belief systems, into empathic and compassionate vibratory fields. And to do that, the collective conscious, the collective, have to undergo heart chakra activation. The empathy and the compassion has been blocked, cut off. All the activities in the ego. Empaths, healers, light workers, not only are you clearing your own heart chakra traumas, which I'm sure you've been doing, you're also transmuting for the general atmosphere, the general population, people that you come in contact with, and you're clearing, or we are clearing, ancestral issues. So there's a lot going on around the heart chakra. The rose quartz is really magical for heart chakra healing. Put it in your bath, lie over your heart chakra and let it tell you where it wants to be. It kind of acts like a poultice, like, you know, when you put, it's like a sponge on an infection. It just draws out any inflammation, it draws out any toxins, any negative energies or frequencies. It's not miraculous. You won't use it once and suddenly feel, you know, it's not an attunement or a shamanic healing. But what it is high-tech, futuristic healing. Just draws it out. So yeah, self-care kit, beautiful people. Self-care kit. So I'm going to close with a little meditation, just take us into some deeper spaces, and just allow us to release any last